Welcome back to today's edition of the Strictly Muscles Chronicles. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Martin, and I'm a personal trainer, nutrition coach, and muscle activation technique specialist in Chicago. The point of putting out these chronicles is to provide exercise, nutrition, and mindset practices to help you persevere and persevere well during the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's use this time right now to build lifelong habits. Build them into your daily routine. And the quote I have for you today was inspired by my client Craig with Magnanimous Rentals here in Chicago. Their mascot is Aristotle, and I had a great quote from Aristotle in my readings. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit." Build the habits, and excellence can happen. For nutrition, let's focus on what we can control. And this involves being aware of our physical and mental hunger, fullness, and satisfied cues. The overall skill that we're trying to develop is eating till 80% full during our meals, satisfied but not stuffed. By improving the awareness that you have of these hunger, fullness, and satisfied cues will improve your skill of eating till 80% full. I gotta say, I've been thinking about this all week. Is congratulate yourselves on taking this task to heart and implementing them, because it's not easy. Many of us may not have thought about being aware of these hunger cues other than like, oh, I'm really hungry, I got to eat, or oh, I ate too much. So becoming aware of them and implementing this into your daily routine, good job. Thank you. Finally, I wanted to go ahead and remind everybody the quarantine date and family night Facebook group. It's the weekend, so go ahead and if you have a date night, family night, you make something special with everybody, go ahead and post pictures of them. Been really great to see everybody's dishes that you're cooking and the way you're doing and taking advantage of this time at home.
Time for some exercise. So today I wanted to go with another back exercise, all right? We talked a couple weeks ago, we did a bent over row. Well, now I want to do a little bit different angle to challenge those muscles. Let's go ahead and start with how we always start. Let's start with, well, determine your capabilities, which includes your range of motion and then the path. How far can you go, okay? So you already did the shoulder exercise this week where we checked the range of motion here. This is pretty similar. You're gonna go kind of in this angle. If you can get up to here, you're gonna be good to go. Now your path is gonna be back like that. So from the straight on view, you're gonna be about right here. And again, it'll vary a little bit. All right, but we're just trying to stay in this plane here rather than coming out wide. Okay, so for the next thing, let's go and talk about anchors. So I've rigged up my homemade anchors here, and I've made two of these for this exercise just in case you have the ability to do two arms at a time. So come on over here. I've rigged this up so we can use our door. Okay, again, we want to rig this up. If you remember the other day I had this, so it's you want to be set it up so it's pulling the door shut. And what I'm going to do is just take these, put them up over the top. Now I did put a little rag in here just so you don't damage your door as well. Now if you have one of these anchors that came with your tube set, you're set, okay? Usually those are a little bit softer, but these carabiners are not soft. Just pull that closed and you're set. So that's your homemade, anchor system. And I just pulled them tight to get them roughly even. Next thing to talk about is our positions, okay? So what are our available positions? Well, for me, I thought about we're gonna go seated on a chair, we're gonna go kneeling, and then we're gonna go seated on the ground. So the first one I wanna do, I just grabbed a chair, and I grabbed a little bit extra bolster here. I've already talked about these from rts.com or resistancetrainingspecialist.com where you can go buy these. But any other options you can use as well. Or old cardboard boxes, as James had mentioned in some comments of a previous workout would work as well. So I'm getting in here, and that allows me to do, when I pull, it's giving me some restraint to not pull me that way. the limitation here is that if this, I'm on a wood floor, and if my resistance is more than this, the friction of the floor, this is going to move. So that's why I wanted to show you these other couple options too. You're going to have something soft, and you can go a kneeling version. The cool thing about the kneeling version is it does allow you to, as I'm pulling here, if I change my body position, now I'm pulling a little bit more vertical, okay? So that can be a difference between these two motions, all right? Still working the muscles pretty much the same though on those. And then the final position that you can go through is seated. And then you have your resistance up there, which I'll show in a moment. But now I'm in this position. Again, I can change this up, my body position, to affect that. I am choosing to have my feet against the bottom of the door. If you're worried about your door popping open, you can always put them against the door frame as well. But that's going to depend on how well you can take your legs out wide. Now, for your load or your resistance, I have two different options that I have here. So if you only have one each of these colors, you're only going to do one arm. Here, I was able to go get some the loops that I showed the other day, and you can do this now a two-arm version as well. So you can probably find these online a little bit easier than you can find these online. It just takes a little bit more things to buy, a couple more orders. So with what people have mostly at home, let's go ahead and go with the two single tubes. Just anchor that in there, and you'll be able to do that with your anchoring system. Then I'm going to bring the chair back over. Get a little bit extra here, resistance, and I'm going to shift to the side a little bit, all right? Rather than being straight on. It's not going to be that big of a deal. I've found in setting this up and preparing for this video is doing this with both the tubes is going to be enough resistance for me to feel some challenge back here. And then what I'm going to do is now execution of it. You're going to drive that elbow towards your hip, and then it goes back. And I'm just going to put a little bit extra squeeze in here because the tube really isn't that hard. That's going to be up to you though. If you're going, wow, this is challenging, you're just going to go ahead and just do your reps so you feel a moderate challenge. If doing two is too hard, go ahead and just start with one. And then the same path of motion that you have there. Okay? Kneeling version. Have this set up, pulling, execution. You want to feel it back through here. If I change up my body position, same area you're trying to feel it, but now it's like I'm pulling, doing a pull down. And then finally, do a seated version. I can change my body position. I'm pulling down towards my hip and then backwards. That's going to wrap up our high row or row variation for you today. Takeaways from that are to check your capabilities, range of motion, path of motion, have your anchor system, you have your resistance, and then you can make it a different exercise each time you do this by changing your body position, which changes your arm angle that you're using. Try it out. Let me know in the comments how it goes for you. Have a good weekend.
For mindset, we've been focusing on doing a mind-body scan in order to get a better sense of how you feel physically, emotionally, and what your thoughts are about. Now, out of the three questions that I propose to you to ask yourself while you're doing this mind-body scan, and just to repeat what they are, ask yourself, how am I feeling physically? How am I feeling emotionally? What am I thinking? Out of those three questions, focus on the how am I feeling physically the most, because that may be the easiest thing to get in charge of as we're working through this. The other ones may be a little bit more difficult for you. So focus on what you can do right now, and then slowly start to ask yourself, dive into those, hey, how's my feeling emotionally today? Hey, what am I thinking about today as you progress along this? Now, something that I thought of about this that I haven't shared with you is like when to do this. So I do this during my morning routine, my morning meditation, but so you could implement that if you already do meditation. Another area that I thought would be beneficial for you is to add this into your warm up before you do your exercise. It's a good, because we're focused on the physical with the exercise. It's a really good way of just checking your body out and going, okay, oh, I've got a little stiffness here, or you know what, I'm feeling really good today. I'm going to push it. So implement that into your daily routine.